We begin with security matters, where tensions were in Makurdi on Sunday as youths in their numbers took to the streets in protest over the growing wave of killings and insecurity across Benue State. Despite tight surveillance in the state capital, the angry youths gathered in the Wurukum area of Makurdi demanding an end to the killings ravaging their communities. Dressed mostly in black and carrying palm fronds and placards with bold messages, the protesters blocked major roads, bringing traffic to a halt and leaving many commuters stranded. The demonstration sparked panic among road users as the youths called attention to what they described as unchecked bloodshed in parts of the state, including Guma, Gwer West, and Akpa local government areas.
Yesterday, over 200 people were killed in their sleep. What kind of a thing is this? And Mr. President is quiet. The governor is quiet. These people are not asking for political alphabet. They are just killing people in their sleep.
We have counted more than 10 trucks that are here, more than 10 for peaceful protesters. More than 10 trucks. If we count more than 15 trucks here for peaceful protesters, and these people cannot mobilize and go to Daudu where they are fighting, it is pitiful, it is disgraceful.
The governor has already given us all the necessary support, all the logistic, every support we need. And we are not going to disappoint anybody. Just be patient. What you see happening in Yelwata yesterday is because we have taken over APA, because we are taking over Gwer West, because we are already pushing in Agatu. So when they were escaping, they just want to do something that they will seem that they are in control, but they are not in control.
Meanwhile, the governor of Benue State, Hyacinth Alia, says special tactical units have begun arriving in the state to restore peace and protect vulnerable communities in the response to escalating security concerns. Governor Alia made the announcement in a statement released on Sunday by his chief press secretary, Teso Kula, in Makurdi. According to the governor, the deployment includes a joint team of tactical and rapid response squads with a focus on securing high-risk areas across the state. This follows recent attacks in Yelwata, with the governor strongly condemning, describing them as brutal assaults on innocent citizens by suspected criminal herders. In reaction to the attacks in Benue State, Pope Leo XIV has offered prayers for the victims of what he described as a terrible massacre in Nigeria. Now, speaking before the Sunday Angelus prayer at the Vatican, the Pope said about 200 people were brutally killed in Yelwata, Guma local government area during the night of June 13 and 14. The Pope prayed for security, justice and peace in Nigeria, stating that he was particularly concerned for the rural Christian communities of the Benue State who have been relentless victims of violence. His remarks come amidst growing international attention on the crisis in Nigeria's Middle Belt, where attacks on farming communities have led to widespread displacement and loss of lives.
Nella notte tra il 13 e il 14 giugno, nella città di Yelewata, nell'area amministrativa locale di Guma, nello stato di Benue, in Nigeria, si è verificato un terribile massacro in cui circa 200 persone sono state uccise con estrema crudeltà, la maggior parte delle quali erano sfollati interni, ospitati dalla missione cattolica locale. Prego affinché la sicurezza, la giustizia e la pace prevalgano in Nigeria, paese amato e così colpito da varie forme di violenza. E prego in modo particolare per le comunità cristiane rurali dello Stato di Benue, che incessantemente sono stati vittime della violenza.
Now, joining us to discuss more on this is Comrade Martin Zoho. He is the coordinator, Northern Nigerian Youth Leaders Forum, Benue State Chapter. Thank you so much for joining us on the news, Comrade Zoho.
Thank you so much for having me on the news.
So can you briefly speak to us on the happenings in Benue State and your reaction to the recent youth-led protest in Makurdi over insecurity?
First of all, I want to condole with the whole people of Guma local government and Benue State at large for this very unfortunate act. It is very unfortunate that our people are massacred just like cockroaches. These are farming communities, innocent lives that were wasted. It's very, very unfortunate for such a thing to happen. And we have the government, the federal government, our securities, who are supposed to protect life and properties of individuals of this peaceful, loving community. It's also unfortunate. In the night, they came, and while it was raining, to come and sniff life out of these very peaceful, loving community members of Yelwata. It's a border town between Benue and Nasarawa State. And these people have been living peacefully, managing life. And all of a sudden, this thing happening, it's also unfortunate. International communities should also look at this. And that's why we've been talking on a daily basis as an organization that proactive measures should be taken to curtail some of these little attacks before this very one happened. And most of these things were not done. I don't know where to go, where these very poor and peaceful loving people will turn to. It's very, very unfortunate. We condemn it in totality. And we also call on the federal government to come to the aid of Benue State. Benue State is bleeding. Benue State is bleeding profusely. It's not supposed to be like that. Do these people
it's quite
come to carry
unfortunate.
arms? It's also unfortunate that it is happening at this time of our lives.
Comrade Zoho, it's quite unfortunate indeed, and seeing what is happening in this state. But how would you describe the general mood and concerns of the youths, especially those who participated in the Wurukum protest?
Generally, today, Sunday, everybody is in a moody condition. Nobody you see wearing any happy face. It's everybody's just cold about what happened. You're talking about 200 lives, more than 200 lives lost in one night. It started around 11 p.m. all to 3 a.m. the next day. And it was raining when this attack started. It was raining. People thought it was the rain and they ran into their homes to shield from the rains. And that was when these people came, break down those doors, go in, machete, massacre, then pour petrol on the building and set it ablaze. So it's when you see those gory pictures, gory sights, you can't do anything than shed tears. In this country, where we have government, is so unfortunate. And everybody in Benue, in Makurdi, is wearing ugly face, moody. Not people have refused to eat. As I'm talking to you, since morning I've not eaten because of what I saw. Up to this morning, you can see those charred bodies, still smoke gushing out of those burnt structures. And these are people who left their villages who were being constantly attacked to seek refuge in Yelwata. These villages
who are those people? Because we've heard that they're farmers, they're herders Well, who exactly are the people who attacked, the people in those communities, the citizens of those communities? What exactly is the root cause of this escalation?
If you ask me, because Yelwata is an agrarian community, so their source of livelihood is agriculture. So those people who attacked had never had issues with them. I believe from first-hand information I got from the survivors of those attacks. When I asked them, they said nothing. They have no issues with them, and there are no headers around. These people come from natural states. These people that attack, they know them, the security agencies know them. They came from natural states to come and attack a peace-loving community in Yelwa. From information we got from the survivors of those attacks, most of them were like the Fulani pastoralists we have in the country. Welding AK-47. Macheting people, even babies, a 10-year. I have one Joseph Kezungwe Kwa. His father, his stepmother, and 6 siblings were macheted and burnt to ash. Amongst the deceased ones was a 10-month-old baby. Tell me, what did that baby do to deserve being killed?
It's quite sad what is happening, and we sincerely condole with the people of Benue State.
This Nepali family trek 3 kilometers every day to take refuge in Yelwata because surrounding villages have been deserted.
We believe
Imagine
that
kilometers to take refuge.
Comrade Zoho, we believe that something will be done to bring the perpetrators, to book. The governor is already doing what he can, and the federal government, I'm sure, are doing what they can as well. But thank you so much, and please do stay safe.
The governor has done much. The governor has done much, and he's not relenting. He should do more. The federal government, the boss stops at the foot of the federal government through its agencies, the security agencies.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Comrade Zoho. Sadly, we have to wrap up this conversation. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, the news continues. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. Now, the Abraka community in Delta State is grappling with escalating insecurity that has nearly paralyzed academic activities at Delta State University. Persistent kidnappings and killings have sparked widespread fear among students and residents, prompting a peaceful protest that was reportedly dispersed by the Nigerian army, leaving some injured. In a recent joint operation, local hunters and police engaged suspected kidnappers, killing 4 and sustaining injuries themselves. Now, the university's Vice-Chancellor, Professor Samuel Asagba, has since ordered students to remain indoors until safety can be assured. To speak more on this, we're joined by a security expert and human rights activist, Harrison Gwamnishu. Thank you so much, Harrison, for joining us on the news.
Thank you.
Harrison, tell us, what are the main security challenges currently facing the Abraka University community and Delta State at large?
Okay, this issue of kidnapping, I listened to when the Benue guy was narrating what happened in Benue, and you asked the question, who are these people, committing this act? And I saw he was not trying to mention the people committing these atrocities, and that's what the government are still doing too. They are not telling us who are doing this thing. But the security agencies knows the people, and they are from Fulani extraction. That's who they are. because right in Abraka and also in other parts of Delta State, some of them have been arrested, and some of them has also been, been killed during encounter with security agencies. So we shouldn't hide these people who are doing these things, all right? Although we may have some of our people who are working with them, because kidnapping issue, we may have some few persons from the community who are working with them, but these people are pure Fulani. They are not from other areas or other places. They are from this is who they are. So in Africa community, we have the Delta State University where we have students, all right? For the past 6 months, we've been talking about the issue of insecurity. Students are being kidnapped. Those who goes to the farm are kidnapped, and ransom, are being paid in millions, all right? And we've been creating awareness to see how the government and also the security agencies can step in and, curtail the situation. But most of the time, we feel they are not listening to us, all right? Reason why we use the social media to create awareness about this whole issue.
Okay, now
until this last.
You talked about, the government stepping in and putting an end to, whatever it is or the issue. How can the state government, how can they, if you were to advise, how can they balance maintaining security with protecting citizens? That's their rights to peaceful assembly.
Okay, first, what we suggested is for them to fund the local security, because a policeman who came from the north do not know our routes, do not know our areas, like in our communities and our farm roads, they don't know the place. So the security, should be, these local security should be funded to enable them, live inside these bushes, because these kidnappers, they live in our bush, they reside in our bush. And we all know how these herders, how they operate. They move in their cows to the bush, they live in the bush. So with that, they know, the entry point and exit point of each of our communities, each of our community roads. So what we suggested for the government is to fund the local security. If you go to a community, get like 50 persons, fund them, give them the tools for them to live inside this bush, to help us to solve this insecurity in our communities. Also, we notice each time we come out to protest about it, because when you talk, you write letters, petition, the government don't listen to you. So what they now listen to is protest. And when you now come to protest against this insecurity, protest is advocacy, to allow the government, the people of what is going on. But each time we try to protest, see government, a lot of healers, trucks, like what's happening in Benue State today. Since yesterday, no news, nobody heard about this whole thing. The government did not talk about it. But today, you see, the youth, everybody came out to the public, to advocate, to protest against insecurity in the state, and then you see maximum security everywhere. That's what happened in Abraka and other areas of
okay, so but what about grassroots? What about grassroots intelligence? What role does it play in preventing kidnappings and violent attacks, especially in Delta communities?
Security information is money. Intelligence is money. Who are they being funded? Now, the man who is coming to give intelligence report about these cases of kidnapping, is he protected? Will the government protect him? That's the thing there. Because when you are reporting an incident, give intelligence report to the government, who are you reporting to? Are they going to listen to you? Now, let me tell you, I was an SSA to the governor of civil society and youth mobilization. And when I was getting information about this kidnapping, I was reaching out to the government, those appointees, for them to see how we can resolve it. But they didn't listen to me. So if we have information from the communities that want to pass out to the government, who do we pass it to? Who will listen to us? So that's why you see us coming on social media to talk about it. And that's when they react. Each time we talk about it on social media, they call us to see how they can resolve it. And the issue keeps happening. People are being kidnapped daily. It's not a joking matter. We're not trying to come to it's not a political or agenda or anything that people are pushing us to. No, it is the reality. Okay. Because some of us who are in the community are the ones who are victims. Those politicians are the ones who have the security detail among them, who they move with escort.
All right, now,
the one who is we are the one affected.
Sorry, but we have to wrap up, in just a few seconds. Can you tell us what is the way forward?
The way forward is for the government to fund our local security, and that's what we're advocating for. Go to the communities and fund them, all right? That's the only solution we have. If they can't fund, or then they give us the power to bear arms, because we are ready to bear the arms and protect ourselves. We cannot allow people to come to our community to kill us, kidnap us, and rape our sisters, our daughters. Let us give us the power to bear arms. Then we go and protect ourselves in the communities. That's the solution to all this whole problem. If people in Benue State, if they have arms with them, how can somebody come from nowhere, a stranger come to your land and kill you? It's not possible. Well, let them give us the power to bear arms, and we will do it ourselves.
Thank you so much for joining us and speaking on this, Harrison.
Thank you.
All right, with that, we move on. Nigeria's democracy has faced many challenges since independence, shaped by ethnic diversity, military interventions, and uneven development. Now, under President Bola Tinubu's administration, there have been renewed calls to strengthen democratic institutions and address corruption. However, questions remain about whether Nigeria truly practices democracy or if significant reforms are needed to deepen democratic governance. To discuss the state of Nigeria's democracy today and the progress made under President Tinubu, we're joined by the Press Secretary of Kogi State SDP, Isaiah Ijele. Thank you so much, Isaiah, for joining us at this time.
Thank you, and good evening. Thanks for having me once again.
It's a pleasure. Now, to start with, how would you assess the current state of Nigeria's democracy under President Tinubu's administration?
Without being told, we all understand, we all have been saying what this government has been doing since the inception of their power last year, 2023. And I thought, let me take it from this. When the APC came into power, I thought that through the system, by the voting system, by the pattern at which they came, and that Goodluck Jonathan, hand over power to them, they will be able to continue on that precedence to put Nigeria on the right track. But what we are saying is more of autocracy and kakistocracy. And that is the worst combination you can have in a country. When you have people who are less qualified, people incompetent and in the corridors of power, at the same time with absolute power, it is dangerous. Nigeria as it is, they have no say in anything about this country. When Buhari was about to leave the power, he came up with electoral bill. So we, the young generation that believe in democracy, we thought this is another opportunity for us again to bring to life the democracy in Nigeria. The 2022 electoral bill was the only hope that we thought are going to change this canker that have eaten deep into Nigeria democracy. When politicians don't have the means to hold them accountable, trust me, they will overdo it.
Okay. So, still speaking on this, what areas specifically do you think should be focused on, in order to entrench an enduring democratic system of governance in Nigeria?
The number one is our electoral system. Without the government officials knowing or having it at the back of their mind that there is a consequence for their action and inaction, trust me, nothing will be done. The American government know that if I don't perform, I will not be voted in. Common Ghana know very well that if I don't perform, I will not be voted by the citizen. But Nigerian system allow the INEC and maybe some few officials or some few judges to decide for millions of Nigeria. And that is the problem. What can you talk? Let me give you an example in River State. Now we have a sole administrator. Forgetting those who were elected by the people. Even the House of Assembly, the members, the governor is on suspension. But one man, come on, what brought us here? How? And I kept saying this, look, Tinubu is the most exposed and most traveled and someone that have experienced the real dividend of democracy in the whole world. He was once called Chicago boy, London boy, England boy, meaning he understands what we call democracy. He understands the dividend of democracy. But under him, we don't have what we call democracy. It is not the government of few people by few people and for few people. Government of autocracy and kakistocracy. The autocrats and the kakistocrats are the one ruling us. Nigeria have no say. Let me give you an example again in Kogi State. The election, all-cycle election in Kogi State has nothing. That is not the way. Can we call that a democracy? On top of Edo, Ondo, and other states.
Isaiah, time is not on our side. We would have to wrap this conversation, but thank you so much for your thoughts on this and your time as well. With that, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll tell you that APC Northeast zonal meeting ends in rancor over endorsement of Tinubu Shettima ticket for 2027. Details and more after the break. Stay with us. Thank you for staying. Now, stakeholders of the All Progressives Congress in Northeast Nigeria met in Gombe to chart a way forward as the 2027 general election draws closer. News Central's Umar Kirawa reports that chaos erupted at the meeting after National Chairman of the party, Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, and Comrade Mustafa Salihu, National Vice Chairman of the ruling party in the Northeast, failed to mention the name of Vice President Kashim Shettima while endorsing President Bola Tinubu for a second term. The APC Deputy National Chairman for North, Ali Dalori, Benue State Governor, Professor Babagana Zulum, and Maimala Buni of Yobe, as well as Senator Mohammed Tahir Mongono, Chief Whip of the Nigerian Senate, among others, endorsed both Tinubu and Shettima. However, there were growing tensions over the perceived marginalization of Shettima, a key political figure from the Northeast whose influence and strategic alliances were instrumental in the party's victories. The Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project has urged President Bola Tinubu to take strong action against the injustice surrounding the annulled June 12, 1993 presidential election. The group called on the president to support reforms that will protect Nigerians' democracy. In a letter dated June 14, 2025, and signed by SERAP's Deputy Director, Kolawole Oluwadare, the organization urged Tinubu to set up a presidential panel of inquiry to investigate the unlawful annulment of the 1993 election and identify individuals responsible for what it described as deliberate violations of Nigeria's democratic freedoms. The group also asked the President to direct the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, SAN, to prosecute those found to have played a role in the annulment, regardless of their political status or affiliation. From quiet providers to guiding hands, fathers have long stood as pillars of strength in our lives. Today, we pause to honor the men who continue to shape families and futures with unwavering dedication and love. As part of our special Father's Day coverage, humans of NC share heartfelt memories, moments, and remind us why dads truly are everyday superheroes. Now, to all the fathers out there, the unsung heroes who never stop showing up, Happy Father's Day. We see you, we thank you, and today we celebrate you.
One of the sweetest memories I have of my dad is whenever he's around, we usually have to enjoy extraordinary.
My dad is an amazing man and he is really caring.
My dad is an amazing man and he has his parenting style, which I find adorable.
I think all dad are superheroes, but my dad is my favorite superhero.
One of my greatest lessons from my dad was to focus on results and ensure that my work speaks for me.
Growing up, my dad always said one thing, that no matter what happens outside, you can always call me. We would always find a solution to the situation, and that made me feel like there was always a home for me, no matter what happens outside.
One salient one that resonates with me till today is he called me when I was quite younger and he told me, he said, one of the reasons why I don't misbehave or I don't have another woman here is because of you. I don't want you to have troubles. And that stuck with me even till today.
My dad would negotiate. I mean, we had discussions. We had a good time growing up. Although now he's getting older and at times he gets impatient, but he's still very loving and caring.
He always emphasized the importance of hard work and having results. And for me, I think that has stood with me, and that continues to guide how I live my life.
I really love my dad, and I don't think I would have done this world properly without him. I don't even want to know what a world without him would be.
Now, as a parent myself, I am adopting some of his styles in the sense that I'm just observing my kids and I will be growing with them, learning from their interest and not trying to force my own interest or direction on them. And I think this is an amazing thing I learned from my dad.
So today I appreciate his resilience, I appreciate his decisions. Some of the errors now I come to understand, some of these indecisions now I come to understand, being a father myself.
To the young dad out there, or that person who wants to become a dad, now is the best time. Yes, the whole world is not well, but you can make a difference by being a better dad to somebody.
Don't wait until it's too late to appreciate a father for everything that they do, for all the hard work that they put in. Appreciate a father today before it's too late.
Fatherhood is quite a rewarding experience. It's better experience than imagined. It's not something you tell somebody. It's an experience that's life-changing and brings about a sense of responsibility on any man.
I love you, Daddy, and happy Father's Day to all dads out there.
Happy Father's Day to you.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day, Dad.
Happy Father's Day to me and all the wonderful dads in the world.
To all the men out there like myself, happy Father's Day to you all.
Well, still on Father's Day, Governor of Edo State, Monday Okpaolo, has urged fathers to take full responsibility in the lives of their children, emphasizing the importance of presence and guidance in family life. Now, the governor made the call during a Father's Day service at St. Paul's Catholic Church in Benin City, the state capital, where he joined worshippers to celebrate the occasion. Accompanied by members of the Edo State House of Assembly, Okpaolo thanked God for the grace to lead the state and tackle issues like cultism and underdevelopment. He also appreciated the support of his team in driving progress across sectors. Now, the presiding priest, Reverend Father Charles Omogiate, called on members of the executive arm to work together in unity with the legislature for the good of Edo State.
God the Father even appeared several occasions.
Let me use this opportunity to thank God for a day like this, called Father's Day. It takes something to be a father. It takes courage, and it takes empathy. I want fathers to continue to love their children because children are God's gift. I also want to tell Edo people that God is here. That is why if it's somebody with muscles, with strength to fight cultism, I don't think I would have been the one, but God has sent me to do that.
Our state is blessed. Our state is full of resources. And we want every citizen of Edo State to enjoy the resources of Edo State. And I'm asking you to continue to pursue unity. Unity among yourselves and unity among the three arms of government. I also want you to be intentional about the developmental strides of Edo State. I know you do a lot for the people, but you cannot do too much to say, I don't tire or I've done my best. You have the mandate of the people, and this mandate must be used for the common good. There are many things you can push forward to make sure our state becomes the best state in Nigeria. There's something where we need to understand. God places us in particular positions for a reason. You being Speaker and members of the House of Assembly is for a reason. You must therefore be instruments of God's handiwork.
Widely revered as one of the greatest journalists of his generation, Sam Amuka Pemu has long stood as a beacon of truth in the media landscape. Fondly called Uncle Sam, the trailblazing founder of Vanguard newspapers, marked his 90th birthday on June 13, 2025, a milestone celebrated with admiration and gratitude. News Central's Chamunda Beng witnessed the celebration.
Dignitaries, journalists, and admirers gathered from all over to honor a living legend. Uncle Sam, as he's affectionately known, is not just turning 90, he's marking over 6 decades of unwavering commitment to truth, integrity, and the power of the written word.
Sam teaches us, we journalists, that you can do your work simply, staying out of the picture, and you can still make the necessary impact that journalism demands. I think the second quick one is his generosity. I mean, as he is quick to say to some of us, I feel born you.
When he acquired the title Sad Sam, I found his columns the ultimate ambush, especially for people of power. It's like leading people on, ensuring that they continue to have the most ballooned aspects, images of themselves, lays that ambush of self-regard, of excessive authority, sense of overbearance, and then finally, with his very witty sense, he punctures the balloon.
Speaking at the event, the Olu of Warri, His Royal Highness Ogiame Otuwase III, bestowed praises, blessings, and prayers on the celebrant.
To be 90. He wanted you to see that truly, not only is he a good God, but he is also a just God. I think, from my perspective, he also wanted you to collect ROI from my hand last year. So whatever your iniquities, because you stood for truth and freedom, I believe it confirms what God's word says. The earth cannot abide false witness.
In a show of humor and gratitude, Uncle Sam took the time to graciously thank his guests.
Tonight and all that I've heard, it's all over. I thank you all. When the time is when I go just bury me. There's no more tribute. I thank you all.
At 90, Sam Amukagbemu stands tall not just as a journalist, but as a builder of institutions, a mentor to many, and a voice of reason in turbulent times. In Lagos, reporting for News Central, I am Chamun Dabeng.
To a bit of health, the Malaria Consortium says over 200 million cases of malaria was recorded across the world in 2023, while Africa accounted for 95% of deaths recorded from this data. It is based on this alarming statistic that stakeholders in Plateau State gathered to brainstorm on ways to curb the spread of malaria and certainly death toll arising therefrom. News Central's Chizoba Nyongwe tells us more.
This is the commencement of the 2025 Seasonal Malaria Chemopreventive Program in Jos Plateau State, an intervention to save the lives of children between the ages of 3 to 59 months, especially during the rainy season when the disease blooms. Available data says after pneumonia and cholera diseases, malaria remains the third most leading cause of death in children below the age of 5. Of this, Nigeria accounts for 3 in every 10 deaths across the world. It is against this backdrop that stakeholders have gathered here to brainstorm on the way forward while improving on the successes recorded so far.
I am particularly thrilled to say that Plateau State has once again demonstrated its commitment to the health and well-being of its citizens by achieving the top position among the 21 implementing states in 2024. This achievement is a reflection of our collective efforts and unwavering determination to combat malaria.
Wife of the governor contributed her quota after she was enrobed as an ambassador of the 2025 Seasonal Malaria Chemopreventive Campaign.
I call on all the good people of Plateau State to take advantage of the SMC initiative to protect our children from malaria by ensuring all under 5 children have access to the SPAQ medications that will be distributed from house to house for 4 days every month for the next 5 months from this month, June, to October 2025.
In collaboration with the Malaria Consortium, the Plateau State government has approved 800 health facilities to be used in the state, over 11,000 ad hoc staff with counterpart funding for this campaign.
To community leaders and traditional authorities, your voice drives acceptance. Keep championing this cause. And to all stakeholders, let us stay united in this fight against malaria. Let malaria end with us. Let us reinvest, let us imagine, and let us ignite our passion towards the fight against malaria.
It is hoped that the achievements recorded in 2024 in this regard will be improved upon for a reduction in death rate of children suffering malaria in Plateau State. In Jos, Plateau State, for News Central, Chizoba Anyuri.
Coming up, away from Nigeria, Zimbabwe is set to begin long-awaited public hearings into the 1980s Gukurahundi massacres on June 26, a panel of traditional chiefs announced. Now, tens of thousands were killed during this brutal period under former leader Robert Mugabe shortly after independence. The hearing, led by chiefs and community members, aimed to provide a victim-centered platform for survivors to share their experiences and seek closure. Due to the sensitive nature, sessions would be closed to the media. A report will be submitted to President Emerson Mnangagwa, who launched the outreach initiative last year, with potential financial compensation to be considered. Up next is sports.
In sports,
Nigeria took a major step towards hosting the 14th African Arm Wrestling and the 7th Para Arm Wrestling Championships by unveiling the tournament mascot and jerseys at a fundraising gala in Abuja. Over 20 African nations are expected to compete in the event, scheduled for the 23rd to the 27th of July. Local Organizing Committee Chairman Adeyinka Adeboye praised the National Sports Commission and appealed for public-private support.
Today, we gather not only to unveil our official mascot and team jerseys, but also to launch a fundraising initiative that will help us elevate the African Arm Wrestling Championship to new heights. Our mascot embodies the strength, determination, and resilience that we celebrate in our athletes.
With the way you have championed this program and this championship, and I'm sure at the end of the day, the final outcome will be very, very brilliant. And indeed, the president of the federation, the first time we discussed this, we didn't think back. We said we are going to align and we are going to be part of it. Because clearly, what you are trying to do align with our vision, with our plans, which is basically to develop our domestic ecosystem. Mr. President is very keen on creating a sports economy, and there's no way you can create a sports economy without developing the domestic ecosystem of sports, and this is one of such. And also it gives us happiness and a delight to be part of it, because it also helps us to demonstrate that we are for all sports.
Sweden's Armand Duplantis set a new world pole vault record on Sunday, clearing 6.28 meters at the Diamond League meet in Stockholm. The two-time Olympic champion bettered his own previous mark of 6.27 meters set in February in Auckland City Football Club to record the biggest ever Club World Cup victory, including from the previous format. The German Giants were 6-0 up by halftime before Jamal Musiala came off the bench to score a second-half hat-trick, and the departing Thomas Muller took Bayern to double figures late on, scoring his 250th Bayern goal. The Group B fixture was expected to be a huge mismatch, given the enormous gulf between the two teams, with amateurs Auckland City the only non-professional side to be taking part in the inaugural 32-team Club World Cup. The victory surpassed Al Hilal's 6-1 win over Al Jazeera in 2021. And that's a wrap on Sports Update. I am Udoka Njoku.
Well, that's all at this hour. But before we go, let's take another look at some of our top stories. We told you that Benue State Governor Alia has deployed tactical squads to tackle insecurity. We also told you that APC Northeast zonal meeting ended in rancor over endorsement of Tinubu's Shettima ticket for 2027. Finally, you heard that Zimbabwe hearings over Mugabe-era massacre to start June 26. Remember, you may send your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number on the screen. Do follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV. You can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, GoTV channel 23, Star Times channel 274, Avo TV, and YouTube. Thank you for watching. I'm Darshan Usman.